Welcome back to Fetus Adventures. I'm Charles.
And I'm Carissa, and with our 2 daughters and our dog, we've spent the last year traveling around America in our 25-foot Winnebago View. We sold our farmhouse in Pennsylvania and moved into our Class C RV, and today we're going to give you a tour and show you how we make that happen. So if you follow me inside, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the kitchen and how we store our clothes and the bathroom and all that kind of good stuff.
And then I'll go on the roof, I'll show you the solar that we installed. I'll go on the bottom, I'll show you the levelers we put in and all the other gear. Hi.
Hi. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, well, let's start with the front. Okay, so these chairs obviously face the other direction when we're traveling, but once we stop and get set up somewhere where we're going to be for a few days, we like to spin them around just to add a little extra space. It's a great spot in the morning to read and still stay quiet while the girls are sleeping up top. Our 7-year-old and our 9-year-old sleep up here together, one head there, so that they have a little bit of separation, but they snuggle up quite a bit. The way that we make this work is lots of separate blankets. So there's probably about 4 different thin, lightweight blankets, and they pile them on. They don't feel like they have to share them and pull them back and forth from each other, and it's been working quite well. The curtains close, so at bedtime, they close these up. It stays nice and dark up there. They do wear eye masks that they keep on their pillows, and there is Reflectix in the windows to keep all the light out so it stays nice and dark up there. We're able to close all the blinds in the whole RV, and it's like dark as night all the way until 9 o'clock in the morning. So it works really well for sleeping. One of the only mods that we've made to this RV is these awesome hook boards that Charles made right by the entrance. So everybody has a hook. We've even got labels for the names.
Like the labels.
So everybody's got a spot for their backpack, hats, a little bit of everything. Just makes it super easy to keep things off the floor and out of the way, which is very important when there's 4 people and a dog living inside this small space.
These were kind of like cardboard with this upholstery on them, and so there was nothing here, just like a soft piece of upholstery. So we were able to take that off and add a piece of 1/2-inch plywood that we could screw things into. So this is kind of the music section. We have like a guitar here, we have little drums, we have tambourine, and all these hooks are able to screw into this board wherever you need them. It's really worked out pretty well. The girls use this climbing hold to get to the top. The RV did come with a ladder right here that lives in the garage, but it comes right into the middle of the walking space, so we just kind of haven't used it. So this is cool. I like these hooks a lot. I thought I would use a lot more of them, so I have since like redone them to what fits. You know, this bag comes up, put a hook, this bag comes up, put a hook, so everybody has their own little place to put things. And when things go where they're supposed to in an RV, it's really important, because if you don't put things back, everything gets really cluttered, especially with 4 people. So I kind of like the backpacks, because if I've got my headlamp and I don't have a place to put it, I can come over to my backpack and put my stuff in here. You know, water bottles, headlamps, knives, whatever you might have. Hello, Winston. So another nice feature that Winnebago has put into these views are blinds that are built in. So when we get to a place, it's real easy to just close everything up and go to sleep for the night.
Moving into the kitchen and the living room. I guess the first thing to show you is our benches. So this is where the girls travel on travel days. There are seat belts, which is good. And then these open up for lots and lots of storage. We use bins to organize the girls' books. Santa Claus brought a gumball machine, so we had to make space for that. Craft supplies, extra rags, the dog's food, all that goes under there. And then we close it right back up. We've added these baskets to the walls for the girls on travel days. They keep their books in here and sometimes a few little things to play with. We also got these great hooks from Target just the other day that their headphones work perfectly on. So they both have those. And then while we're over here, we can look under Laurel's bench. So there are 2 sets of seatbelts on this side, so technically you could have 3 kids buckled in. Under here, we have our crock pot, things that we don't use constantly. So extra ice cube trays and extra water bottles and bins and extra Ziploc bags and all that stuff. And then there is a spot for us to put our Berkey water filter, which we bring with us to make sure that all the water that we drink is super clean, because you kind of never know when you're traveling around what you're gonna get.
So Winston likes to sleep under the table because that's where all 4 of his people gather multiple times a day. Isn't that right, Win?
And then we can kind of talk kitchen. So all we have to do is turn around to the other side of the RV and we've got our kitchen space. It's really tight and small, but it works when we're intentional about it. So one thing that has been super helpful is no more than 2 dishes per person. So we've got 8 plates, 8 bowls, 8 cups, 2 mugs. That's it. And that makes it so we have to do dishes after each meal. So we keep our countertops clean and empty. And then it's not like this constant big giant job. Up here we also keep things like little scrubbies and extra dish towels. And then our top shelf is our electronic storage. We have our white noise machine and a flashlight. We've got a whole bag full of cords and chargers. The iPad goes up here, another bag for chargers and cords. And that is that. Sink, we hang our brushes so that they're up and out of the way. And over here we've got some bins with the, I don't know what you call this, the sticky stuff that makes it not rocket launch off the counter when you're driving. We've got some Ziploc bags and some reusable baggies. We also keep our cloth napkins up here so that they are easily accessible. We have another bin that I keep. I had a girlfriend who made us some super awesome little like crocheted trivets almost, and we use those to keep things from rattling while we drive down the road. Olive oil, salt, and pepper kind of stay in that bin all the time, so they're easily accessible. We keep our cutting boards accessible too. I put a little tiny strip of the rubber grippy stuff there so that they don't slide off the counter while we're driving, and so far, so good. We do have a convection microwave, so it can be an oven or a microwave. It's not my favorite thing, but it works when I super need to bake something. Yeah. And then our stovetop is here.
It's very
propane
large.
Works. I can put my saucepan and my cast iron skillet on here at the same time, so I can cook a meal all at once. No problem. And I usually use the dinette table as my prep area. Silverware, easy breezy, top drawer. Daily cooking utensils. Keep it simple. Only things that you absolutely use. None of the extra stuff. Now, we do have a drawer for extra stuff. We use the stuff sporadically, so I can't bring myself to get rid of it, but I probably could. Bottom drawer is the junk drawer, essentially. Duct tape, scissors, rags, lighters. This is where we keep our trash. We also keep some of our cleaning stuff in there. Not very exciting, but functional nonetheless. That is the kitchen. I lied.
Okay.
That's not the kitchen. We have food. We do eat food.
Pantry.
Pantry, I guess is what you would call this. We put all of our food up top. We've got 2 of these. We got these awesome gray bins at TJ Maxx maybe? And they are the perfect size to fit in here together and still leave some storage space behind them. So I can put an extra thing of oats, extra thing of honey, whatever, behind. And we've got all of our food in those, and then one collapsible dish pan that I got for Christmas that works perfectly for storing our produce, because I was just shoving it all in the microwave. Fridge, pretty self-explanatory. We can fit about 4 days worth of food plus some extras in this fridge and freezer combo. A little bit of storage up top. Keep our dish drying mat and extra no slip grip stuff. One other thing, I guess that's part of kitchen, is in here. This is our multi-use pantry. We've got towel storage, Charles' clothes, my clothes, but kitchen stuff, since we're talking kitchen, is here. I've got my cast iron skillet, a non-stick skillet, a saucepan, and a small stock pot, in addition to my mixing bowl / salad bowl, and our Vitamix is tucked back in there too. And that is everything we have for the kitchen, and it works.
So when we first got this RV, they had this closet which had a hanging rod in the top for hanging clothes, and we knew that that wasn't going to work for us, so we ended up putting in these shelves. I just made them out of rough cut wood, simple cleats on the wall, and now we can keep our clothes kind of in stuff sacks and stuff you can visibly see. You reach in and grab your t-shirts, grab your pants. This is Carissa. This is me. It is not always this organized, but when it is, it's really nice. We got a couple extras here with towels, and then we have stuff sacks in the back, which are an easy way to keep extra clothes for out-of-season items or items we just couldn't part with. I think we found through RVing that we still have too much stuff, because about a week's worth of clothes and you have everything you need. You just have to do laundry, so it's pretty easy. Let me show you under the bed for some of that extra storage that you might need. This is just all extras. Dress shoes, binoculars, backpacks, winter stuff. It's a good amount of space. It works pretty well. For clothes for the girls, we use these drawers in the kitchen, which is a little odd for placement, but it gives them just the right amount of space. They don't always keep them this organized. It's usually just a jumble of clothes. But that's Paige. This is Laurel. And again, like, you wear your favorite clothes a lot, so you don't need a lot of different clothes. I'm still downsizing. Just can't get rid of stuff. So over here we keep Winston's food and water. It's out of the way. He seems to eat in the middle of the night anyways. Come midnight and he's drinking water like a camel. So this is my junk drawer slash tool drawer. I really like having just your basic screwdrivers, scissors, tape measure, flashlight, Sharpies, super glue. Having 2 little kids, a lot of things break. So try and keep up with it, and I don't have to like dig into the outside cabinet. These are the main everyday tools. I notice that when I'm organizing in the RV, I try and think of things that I'm going to use all the time, and those go in like the easy to reach places. And then things that I just have to have with us but maybe don't need all the time, they end up in like a cabinet outside like the rest of the tools. So I'll show you where we sleep. This is the bed in the back of the 24J. It is a curved bed with a curved curtain, and it works out pretty well. I would say it's what, a double? Is that what you think
a double's
it is?
fair.
It's about a double. It's tight. We have switch sides. Do you want 3 walls around it, or do you want your feet to hang off because there's a curve? Currently, Carissa is shorter, so she sleeps on the short side, and I crawl in there like a sardine and we figure it out. So over here, we keep like electronics, you know, your daily knife and your watch, headphones, that sort of thing. I have an outlet here that is also controlled on the inverter, so it will come on when we're boondocking, and these little bins help to keep things off of the bed and organized. In the cabinet here, we keep books, board games, notebooks, extra things like that. Over in this cabinet we have like an office bin. I really like keeping things in bins because you're gonna have to pull stuff out to get to things. So it's nice to be able to grab a whole bin and get into it. GoPro, and then like electronic accessories in this bin, and a computer. Over here, we haven't really found a good use for it because you gotta crawl on the bed to get to it. But extras like sheets and games, books, those just things that we might need. And it's kind of fun, like I like to sit in the bed a lot and edit videos, so I'll throw my cup of coffee up there or in a cabinet, and then I'm not wrestling it on the bed. So these shades work really well. These MCD roller shades really do a good job like blacking out the bedroom, so you get good sleep every night.
Okay, bathroom. We do have a cupboard behind the mirror where just everyday stuff goes. We keep vitamins on top. My stuff's kind of in the middle, and then it's a hodgepodge at the bottom. We use these little bins to just keep things from jumping out of the cupboard when we open it after traveling, but they are helpful. Sink, pretty basic. Gets very wet. Sometimes we cut up an absorbent like dish mat so that it fits around this to try to keep some of the water off the counter, but that just gets so soggy that we kind of gave up on that too, and we just wipe it down a lot. Underneath, we've got some shelves in here. We use baskets to keep things organized. The very bottom is first aid, kind of anything that we don't use regularly but we don't want to be without. And then the top shelf is sunscreen. I have a tiny little bag of makeup. I have a travel size hair dryer and some other stuff. Here we have toothbrush and toothpaste. Makes it simple to keep it out of the upper cupboard and off the shelves, so it's just out of the way and easy.
And back then our girls were short, and now they're growing, so I put them in the lower cabinet because they were short, but they didn't stay small.
They didn't stay very small.
My shrinker is no longer working.
Then we'll go into our bathroom. I've got some hooks on the back of the door here. We can hang clothes, we can hang towels. They're pretty much always full of something. It's oftentimes my somethings. I might hoard these a little bit, but they're great for like workout clothes that you might wear again, towels that are drying, clothes that you're gonna wear tomorrow. We also hang our laundry bag in here. It's not a very glamorous laundry bag, but it works. We have a standard RV toilet and a shower as well. We use the shower mostly for hanging clothes storage, and because we boondock a lot, it tends to just stay that way, and we do our showering in campground showers and other places. However, when we do get somewhere where we stay for a while and we have full hookups, we set up our closet in the front of the cab so that we have full access to this, and it doesn't take up space in our cupboards or under the bed, and we can still get to it all. Tell us a little bit about this closet we got here.
Yeah, so this took us a while to figure out, probably towards the tail end of last year, because we usually boondock or mooch dock, so we never really had the opportunity to empty a shower at a full hookup campsite. But we did that a couple times in the fall, so we figured the rod that hangs in the shower fits perfectly between the headrests here once the seats are turned around. And so we're able to transfer all of the clothes that hang in the closet to between the front seats, which is by the door for coats and things. That's pretty cool. And if you don't have any of these yet for your RV, you're missing out, because these Nite gear ties are awesome. You can make little hooks out of them. They make big ones, they make small ones, and we typically will wrap up this rod to make sure that these don't fall off of the seat here. But it's pretty easy. It's like a little bread tie, and that locks it on. And so it's grippy, it's strong. I use these things all the time, whether we're drying clothes in the winter or I'm hanging lights on a tree, wrapping up hoses, cords. They're just, I don't even have enough of them. I should probably buy more. We'll put a link in the description for you.
So this is our shower when it's not holding all of our hanging clothes. It's small, but totally doable. We have this sliding door. It works. We take what Charles calls military showers. I don't know if that's an accurate description or not, but there's this handy dandy little push button on our shower head that stops the water, so we don't have to waste water while we soap up and scrub up, and that way we fill up the gray tank of the RV a lot slower than if we let all the water blast out while we were standing here. Store all our stuff, and it works pretty good.
So in the bathroom, we have a standard 14 by 14 inch overhead fan, and we originally had one that just turned on and off and pulled air out. We put a rain cover on it, and we used it a ton. It was constantly on, it was pulling air out, or so I thought, until we recently replaced it with a MaxxAir fan. And I was not sure that I was gonna believe any difference. You know, it's a fan, like, pulls air out. But the amount of air that this thing pulls is impressive. You can turn this on and go open another window and actually feel the breeze. So it probably recirculates the air in this RV way better than the last fan. So highly recommend the MaxxAir fan if you haven't got one. Another cool piece of gear that I really like having in the RV are these magnets. I don't know the name of the brand. Scosche. Scosche. But they come with a little piece of metal that you can put onto the back of your phone or other device, and then they send you a magnet. They have different types. They have one with like a rubber neck, which is what's on the Honda windshield. They have little swivels, which is on our dash, and then we have these flush mounts, which I found the most useful, because when I don't want my phone on the counter, because counter space is limited, I can throw it up there and bam, it's stuck to it. So we have one over here. We've got one here for this captain's seat. Pretty easy. And then we have one up front, which is where we'll put it when we're driving. Got one there for me, and one there for Carissa. Those have been awesome. So this is a Winnebago View 2014 model 24J. It's about 25 feet long. The J is just one of their floor plan models. We got this one because we are able to sleep in the back bed and the overhead cab with the slide in, as well as use the bathroom and the kitchen. So the whole idea was to be able to sleep in a parking lot or boondock or sleep in a driveway and really just get around quickly and easily. It drives great. It's like driving a 16-foot box truck. It's just just easy to drive. Feels like you're driving a van. You just have to go a lot slower because all your dishes and things bang around. But it pulls this Honda CR-V no problem. I mean, there's a couple mountain passes where it struggles and we'll just unhook and both drive, but all in all, it's been a really good engine. I will say I don't like the DEF system, but that's new to me, and I was told going into it that those have problems, and we've had problems. So it doesn't matter what diesel engine you buy, you're going to end up with that DEF system. But that's what it is. So come around, I'll show you these cabinets, kind of what we keep here. Start with the hose, of course, 0G. Thank you, keep your daydream. That's been the best hose, 50 foot. It seems to be plenty for what we need. I'm gonna start with that door actually. So the driver door, I'm gonna come around here. This is where I'll keep like the glass cleaner, gloves for emptying the tanks, and then I have like an electrical toolkit, ice scraper, which I didn't think we would need, but we just left snow and ice. And then I have tools and extra screws in here for RV stuff, epoxy, Dremel tool, just odds and ends that you think you might need. So that's extra storage if you have a View and you don't have one. When we do park, we put things behind the seats. This is my disc golf bag. We've got a yoga mat. On the other side, I'll show you, we have the Blue Ox towing items. In the first cabinet under the slide, we keep the grill. We have a Q grill. It's orange. Just barely fits these cabinets. And they use these little propane tanks. I have extension cord, jumper cable, space heater, and a fan, a couple tarps, and the black tank sewer hose, slope thing, sidewinder I guess they call it, and a tarp. It's pretty basic. In this cabinet, we have all of our sewer hoses. Easy in, easy out. Previous owner made these so that they hold the cabinet door open. So those are pretty handy. This is the Berkey water filter. We have a coffee maker that we'll plug in outside when we're somewhere. And then this is the black tank with sensors. There's the drain for the black tank. I kind of call this the water cabinet. It holds a 25-foot pocket hose with a sprayer. We have a little extension here that quick connects into our 50-foot 0G hose. We have a little shower head here that we can use with hot and cold water. And then we have the gray tank valve, which comes from the gray tank here in the back. Got a Progressive Industries surge protector because you want to protect the electronics in your house. Keep a little outdoor rug with us. That's been really nice if you can find one of those. We got fresh water fill up. We got electrical connections. This is where I keep all of my tools. I've got a lot of DeWalt cordless items, Sawzall, jigsaw, impacts, drill and driver, and a couple extra zip ties and clamps. We've got a propane generator here. This has been really nice when we have somewhere with not a lot of solar, like this campsite has a lot of shade, so if we weren't plugged into power, we could run that a couple hours a day. Runs off of propane. They do make diesel models, but the propane seems to work just fine for us. I learned in the past year that propane is not that expensive, so that's been a plus. You know, I don't know what our propane bill was last year, 200, 300 bucks.
But the cost of propane is going up.
Yeah. This is what I call the garage. So this is an easy access cabinet. It's just under our bed. There's that ladder that I was telling you that we don't use for the kids. And then in here we just keep like our camp chairs, Magnetiles. These are great toys for the kids. Hammocks, couches, picnic blankets. They've got a couple toys here. They've kind of just taken over this cabinet. I do have a couple soccer balls, and then I keep like all those gear ties. I keep lights, lanterns, things that you need at your campsite. But this is a nice, like, easy access and probably our largest cabinet. And then back in this cabinet by the door, we've got extra shoes. The inverter's in there. We keep I keep all my cleaning supplies. We have a couple boot dryers if you need them. And I got a jump pack for the Honda. Pretty much just a couple odds and ends. And then to the last door, we keep our Blue Ox brake actuator in here. I've got my tow package here for the Blue Ox. I've got a multimeter, safety cables, electrical cords, and that's been pretty handy to have just in a little bag that goes around. And in here, like I said, I always forget we have this storage, but we have like lights and lanterns. We used to keep the walkie-talkies in here. And that's pretty much it. I think overall we've been pretty pleased with this 24J model. It's got everything that you need, just in a really small space. So I'm going to go over a few of the features here that we use on this Winnebago View. One of the nice things that I like about the build is that all of the plumbing is internal. So the freshwater tank is under our bed inside of the RV. All the plumbing is in there. So as long as the RV is warm, those pipes are safe. The only thing not inside are the black tank and the gray tank, but we have tank heaters for that. That comes in real handy in the cold weather, especially if you're plugged into shore power, because I think that draws a lot of power overnight. And so we don't typically use that unless we're plugged in somewhere. The RV also comes with a water heater that is both electric and propane. So whether you're plugged into a campsite or boondocking, you always have hot water if you need it. This is the solar that we put in. It's from Zamp Solar. Really good quality, made in the USA panels. They sent the charge controller, 3 panels, and then we upgraded the batteries. I went from 12 volts to 2 6 volts golf cart batteries in series, which gives us more storage overnight. So once the sun goes down on solar, that's all the power you have, whatever's in your battery bank. So we have 2 6 volt batteries that seem to provide enough power for us overnight, as long as we're not running the microwave or anything. It won't do the microwave or the air conditioner, but it'll charge items, it'll run the propane heat, and it's been really nice. We really don't have to think about power a lot. This is the inverter. Part of the solar is that you want to convert DC from the batteries to AC outlets. And I've labeled the 2 outlets which are connected to the inverter, because all of the outlets are not connected, just 2 of them, and that seems to work pretty good. So when we got the rig, we decided to put a leveling system on there. We tried doing the Lego blocks and that worked pretty well, except we figured we'd be moving sites a lot. So doing a new site every day, it's so much nicer to just push buttons on the leveling feet and have the rig be level and stable. That's really my favorite part, that the rig is now not like a boat or a van when you're in it. It's pretty stable. So we put in this Bigfoot leveling system. They sent us all the parts for this chassis. I was able to put that on myself, and then I paired that with the LevelMate Pro app, and this will tell you how far off the wheels are as opposed to being level. And I find it really easy to use, super nice. We can push a button, they retract, and we're on our way. Well, if you made it this far in the video, we hope you learned something. If you have any more questions, just ask, put them in the comments. We're happy to help. This RV has been everything we wanted it to be. It's a little small for a family of 4, but every RV has pros and cons. And I think we've enjoyed all the features that it has, and we've definitely used every bit of space. I think Carissa has a #1 tip for moving into an RV from a house.
Get rid of all your stuff.
Get rid of all your stuff. So if you can minimize your whole life and get rid of everything,
Definitely.
you could live in pretty much anything.
We're living off of a week's worth of stuff. Like kitchen, clothes, stuff. With the addition of, you know, some multi-weather gear and some different sports. We've got a week's worth of clothes, a week's worth of groceries, and it's all we need.
It's working pretty well. So we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.